Hey everybody, welcome to our first ever
Hello.
human design astrology connection. I think I might try my headphones to see if I can limit
I wonder if it's me.
the clippiness. I think it might be like it reverbing back from your computer to I don't know.
Here, what if I don't mind us while we work out text again?
Excuse us while we do technical
I'm
issues.
going to hit mute, and so let me know if it's still doing it.
It's not.
Is it me?
Yeah, but I don't know how to stop
Wait.
it from doing that.
How about now? Is it better?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
I had a little bit of a feedback.
Hello, hello.
Yours is always great. Yours never really has that double feedbacky thing.
But I don't hear it on yours, so I'm thinking if maybe turning down your volume.
Yeah, I have it down to like 20 right now.
Okay, let me turn all mine down. How about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes. And I can't hear myself. Hey.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're just tuning in and you can hear an echo, please let us know and we'll try to fix that. We'll try our best, but let's be honest. Spirit just does what it wants.
Yeah, Mercury retrograde, whatever. Say hi when you're here. Oh, good. Oh, look. Yay. Okay. So, hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks for letting us know. Please keep us posted on the reverb. As Sami has just said, this is our first time publicly doing a human design and astrology little thing that we've been doing. So, for those of you who don't know, I found I'm a 1-3 projector. So, when I find something, I need to learn it all the way. Currently it's human design, and it looks like it's going to be a puzzle that I'm going to be able to continue with forever. It just speaks to my natural intuitive abilities. It really helps me understand things. I've been, you can ask Sami, Kaylee, Lorna, and Jared, and our friend Laura, who's not really on the live so much. They are also inadvertently learning human design every moment of every day. So since it's been a couple months now, what we've really discovered is how many layers. Retrograde is going to be real cute today, I can tell. So please bear with us while mayhem happens. So that being said, as I started to really dive in, we really made a lot of discoveries, how there's all these different layers and how there's a million ways you can learn this. So for human design, you can go the traditional raw way, which is, to the founder, which is so great. But as we're all different frequencies, we all learn different things. But what we discovered is how the runes fit in, how the tarot fits in, and how astrology fit in.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm just getting cut off completely.
You are. And then now Twyla's trying to eat everything. What is happening? We're getting ready to do something wild. Oh, and she might be gone. Oh my gosh.
Am I back?
You're back.
Guys, so whatever's happening, this is being recorded. If we have to go over to it again, this is big because what I'm saying is it's multi-layered. So this thing that we've been practicing and we've been doing all this stuff and we've been pulling all these things is really going to help you, right? This is empowerment. So you're going to learn a little bit about astrology and how it coincides. And it also is going to make human design way less scary because you're going to realize you already know stuff and you already know yourself. And this is all about expanding in that. So and Sami's been studying astrology since she was freaking 10 years old. And if you've been around, if you've seen her Astro Dice throw, that's like what really showcases of how incredible she is, right? And so this is your opportunity to really like get a little taste of what's coming. By no means am I anywhere close to being an analyst, but that I'm going to say it now is where I'm going because this is the puzzle. I actually just got my year ahead reading too from Kaylee. And she was like, oh my God, she said so many amazing things. So I know both her and Sami are doing year ahead readings. So if you haven't done that, go do it, get both. I'm getting both because it's so good to have a lot of different perspectives, right? Because each of us have our own unique frequency, you guys, and we all matter and we all filter things a different way. And then you can take what resonates with you and throw the rest in the trash. Who cares, right? This is your life, your world, what you are coming to co-create, right? And find out what feels good to you and assess and trust your inner authority and whatever that is, right? And so today we really wanted to explore this. This is something that going forward, because of in the past, right? The Essenes, this is like our inspiration, used to sit with all the natal charts and the progressive charts and the transits and everything, plus all the other planets they knew about that we don't even know yet. And they would sit and they'd be able to have a map, and people come together and get married, and they'd be like, well, you can. Here's your 19 issues you're going to have. This is great.
Oh, man. Watch us shift reality in real time. Happen. It's great.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. This is wild. Hold on. I'm going to do a thing. This is incredible.
Uh-huh. Hey, Amber Borden, are you Amber Jefferson? By chance?
We're going to get started. Anyway, this is going to be super dope. Great.
Okay, cool. So we need your birth date, birth time, and place to pull your natal chart and your human design chart to talk about it a little bit. And then your friend who you paid for, which is amazing, will need their information. If you don't feel comfortable sharing it on like the live chat, that's totally fine. Just private message me. And it's totally
you can do a private chat too.
Where I emailed you earlier. You can email me back there or anything like that.
Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. Please excuse the tech. Mercury retrograde. What can we do?
Yeah.
But we're going to happen. So we're going to get everything started. So this is like really cool because we worked on ourselves and we tried on a couple different people, and it's been like so enlightening. You're April girl. You're right on time. A wizard is never late. So it's really, really super cool. I don't even know where this is. I'm going to have to copy this because I don't know how to spell. It's so fine. So let's get ready. Let's get into it.
Yeah, you can totally do a donation for Wyatt's. Just let us know his birth time, birthplace, and birth date.
Oh, man. It says country.
Who are we starting with?
Well, I think if Pia's here because we have her information already, I think that would be a great place to start.
Okay. Pia, are you here?
Okay, I guess that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, just private message me. I think that's Jessica talking to me, right? Yeah, yes. Jessica, just private message me.
I emailed our details.
Oh, yay. Thanks, Amber.
Niaso koshkanariaki. Okay, perfect. Are you just going to share them with me? Oh,
yeah, I just messaged them to you.
Okay, cool.
So I don't see Pia.
So Pia, if you're here, let us know. Pia might actually be sleeping. And if that's the case, we can just do a recording and send her separately.
That makes sense.
Because she's in Germany and that's like 5 hours ahead or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So you want to start with Amber, maybe?
Yeah, I just got to pop all the information so I know that what I'm looking at is correct.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for your patience. I wish I had a pen and paper so I could write this down. I wish I had a pen and paper.
Jared, if you
that
are
is such an Aquarius thing to say. I wish I had a pen and paper. Thanks, guys. How's everyone doing, by the way? We're really excited. Thanks for saying yes to this.
The whole world. I love that it gives me that choice. Okay.
Something, if you guys, so don't freak out if you don't have your information. We just can't, it won't be as precise, but there is still ways to look at stuff too. Are you frozen? I love this so much.
Am I frozen now?
This is the best.
Oh no.
Are you working now? Okay. All right, guys. Oh my gosh. It's fine. It's great. Everything's great. We're going to work through it.
Everything's working out exactly as planned.
Right?
No
What do we
big
say?
deal at all. We are so, what is it that we learned? We learned it from TikTok.
And we forgot it.
We are so lucky and everything works out for us.
We're so lucky we're so lucky and blessed. Everything always works out for us.
Yeah. Thank you, TikTok. All right. I didn't want it in.
You already got this ready to go.
Here we go.
Ready to go. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. I can like feel it.
Okay.
Do you want to kind of give them a rundown what to expect while I'm putting all this stuff on?
Yeah. So Amber, or for anyone who's joining, I'm going to run through your sun, moon, and rising signs. And we're going to look at what those are and what houses they're in. I typically also like to look at and see if there's any houses or signs that you're stacked in, because that kind of points you to more important themes in your life. We're going to talk a little bit about your progressed moon and what that is. And then Allison's going to jump in and talk about your type, your authority. Is that it?
Strategy. And I'll give you my knowledge on what I know. And then, so because I'm a splenic kind of girl. So what that means is basically that I'm guided by my intuition, which is like so fun for me because I'm not actually an emotional person. I just amplify it, but which is great. So that's good. It helps me see the chart in such a cool way, which is really great. And then we talk about stuff and it gets even more fun. Give me this. No, that's not what I want. Get out of here. It's rude.
Am I spelling it wrong?
By the way, there's a Roanoke, Indiana.
Is there really?
Yeah, dude.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy? I see you trying to be sneaky, Mercury. It's not going to work. All right, let's rock and roll.
You good? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right, Amber. So you have a Taurus sun and a Taurus moon. And your rising, I believe, is in Taurus as well. Let me see. Yeah. I'm checking that over here. Yes. So all three in Taurus, which is wow. Which is okay. So the sun represents your like inner personal thing. And I usually believe, and some astrologists disagree with this, but I believe that you kind of start out more like your rising sign, and then you move into your sun sign a little bit more as you age. That's just my personal belief. But you have both the same. So both what you showcase to the world, your rising sign, and what you feel internally and what you're moving toward is the same. And then your moon tells you your emotional side, your internal world. It's kind of like it can answer the question like, I feel most secure when. So having a Taurus moon, you feel most secure when feeling secure. I mean, Taurus is really the sign of like, of your values and your values, priorities. It's a really good sign for like knowing what you want and going after it. They love luxury. The kind of lower roads of that when you're having a rough day means you can slip into like maybe paying a little bit, like maybe shopping a little bit too much, maybe being a little stubborn and unable to like change or shift as easily. So those are kind of like I learned these terms, high roads and low roads, from our friend Laura Brown Cano, LBC. She likes to say them that way because it's not really negative traits. Like it's like everyone has a high place that they come from where they're like showcasing all of the beautiful things they do in a low place. So because all three are the same,
You're frozen.
Look at where they're all placed. And so you've got it in your 12th house and first house. The 12th house is the house of Pisces. So you've got a lot actually in your 12th house. I'm going to look at your actual natal. Yeah, you're stacked.
We're frozen. Isn't that great? We're frozen. Isn't that great?
You're frozen, but I can hear you.
We're frozen. Isn't that great?
Can you guys hear us at all?
This is a fun game. Isn't that great?
I'm having no idea what people can hear and see.
We're frozen. Isn't that great? We're frozen. Isn't that great?
And now my dogs are fighting in the background.
That's my cat sneezing, by the way. We're okay. So, all right, cool. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, now's like really not the best time for that. They're like, what? How could it not be the best time to be screaming while you're on a live? Anyways, so the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of karmic closure, spirituality. It's the woo-woo. It's the mystic. It's all of those beautiful things. And I kind of love that you've got Taurus in those placements because Taurus is a very grounding, earthy energy. Taurus really can anchor in some of those concepts. And I feel like you could be kind of like me, where you can take those like lofty concepts and really bring them down to people that wouldn't be able to understand them normally because they're too lofty, essentially. Like it's not grounded enough. It's not based in any like sort of reality for them, but you are able to take those difficult concepts and like really speak them out to people, which is a really cool gift that I'm assuming you've probably already noticed that you are good at doing that. Taurians are really good at not letting people overstep their boundaries too. Once you kind of learn where your boundaries are, they're really, really good at being like, hey, this is how much energy I have to do this today. And this is what I'm going to do. They're also, because they're like the kings and queens of like priorities and ethics and morals, right? So they stand in their truth and they stand in it for a long time. My son, honey, I can't throw a ball for you right now, but I love that so much that you're so excited. Yeah. So progressed moon, let's talk about it. The progressed moon is basically like a colored lens you pop on top of your regular moon. So you're normally a Taurus moon, but in this progression right now, you are a Gemini moon. So right now, you're going to be feeling a little bit more extroverted. You're going to be feeling the need to communicate, get out and socialize, and you're interested in taking in a bunch of new information. Geminis are the most open-minded of the zodiac sign, and they really are able to step into the mindset of other people, and they're able to see those at face value. So you're kind of, instead of feeling security in like, I mean, Taurus is the sign of security, which is kind of adorable. So instead of finding security and being secure, physically secure, you might find yourself getting more value or your love language kind of shifting more to like words of affirmation or talk with people. So this is a really cool time to call in your tribe and figure out where you want to go and what you want to study and what lights you up and what to focus on. Because after Gemini, you'll move into Cancer, which is where you'll kind of root down in. You'll kind of go through some of the deeper emotional processing of. So let's see how far are you into this progressed moon. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. I'm lying to you. Your moon is in Scorpio. I was looking at your sun. Yes. Way to roll in a 2023 queen.
Yeah. Her sun is right now in Gemini, so some of that will feel applicable still. But no, your security center is in Scorpio. Oh my gosh, where is that at? On this big wheel of fun. Right here.
So fun. I love learning about all this.
Yeah, and you're getting ready to leave it and head into oh my gosh. Your progressed moon is in Virgo. So fun fact about astrology signs, Scorpio looks like this.
Yep.
And Virgo looks like this.
Yep.
Kind of like an
it's
M
almost exactly the same.
I get them mixed up all the time. So Virgo. So Virgo is introverted. Right now you're focusing on your like systematic things, getting kind of things in a systematic order, getting things a little bit more organized and put together. Serving others and being of service are going to be important lessons for you, or it's a phase that you've been in for a long time now, trying to figure all of that out. Virgos are really good at, they're also another earth sign. So your moon feels comfortable there because it's another earth sign, just like Taurus. So it's really good at like health concepts and analyzing and getting things organized and put together. Yeah. Okay. I think I said all the things.
Did you?
That was a lot of chaos happening in my house while I was doing that. So I'm sorry. That was probably really disconnected.
Yep. See, there it goes, that Virgo.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to add another twist to this. Amber, are you ready? So according to your chart, your type is a manifester. Welcome to like the lesson 10% of the world, right? So I'm sure you've dived into this. So we're just going to kind of talk about how this like tunes into all astrology, into that. So the most important thing, and especially because the Taurus is so strong in your chart in that way, is that informing is of the utmost importance. And so because of this, and because Taurus has such a rippling effect everywhere, like it's even more intensified. So for you to really sit down, and anytime you're making any kind of big decision in your life, or you want to do something, change a job, move house, go on, think of a vacation, anything big like that, is to write a list on who that decision is going to cute. They're like affect. And then what you want to do then is inform every single one of those people. Here's the cool thing about manifestors, you guys, is that you have the ability to like inspire to create the world, right? And where your energy is. And so for you too, especially Amber, it is in that emotional place. So there is that time where something comes to you or you want to do something, is to like sit with it and meditate on it and really like dig deep into yourself and ensure that that feeling is correct, that you want to do that. And I was just tuning into how that is. And and the Taurus, so much as she was saying, and how that works, and especially being in like the Virgo moon, like I just love everything that's happening right now. And in your natural profile is that hermit opportunist, right? And so because you got that 2-4 profile, and that 2-4 profile, from what I've been reading and understanding, is really being in the space, and you are the space, you are the metronome, wherever you go, right? And even though you're in that introverted space, learning and being the hermit and doing all that your power still radiates, your aura still, even though it's like closed off, you still command that presence and that regalness, if you will. And that's really important, and that so coincides with that Taurus, just because that's like who you are, right? And so this, I want to dive into your incarnation cross, because they're telling me this is really where it feels really good, if I can get to it, which is always really fun, because my phone's not working too, because of course, why would it? And I'm in the dark, as you guys can see, because of course all the light bulbs burned out. I was like, I love how I'm being challenged right now. This is great. So I'm just going to go through this. You are right angle cross of the 4 ways. And so I'm reading directly from the Human Design book. And for those of you who don't know, this book was written by a beautiful woman. Her name is Linda Burnell. I'm loving this. I could be frozen. I don't even know. And it was co-created with Ra. So there's like such a funny thing about that. Well, since we're sitting here and I could be frozen.
You're
We're
not.
frozen now. We're frozen now.
You're
We're
not.
frozen now. Am I not frozen?
No.
Yay! I just sing the Frozen song until you tell me I'm not frozen. Okay, so as you're listening to this, what I'm really hearing, Amber, for you is just to close your eyes and really take this in. Allow this to resonate in your body. One of my channels is the channel of surrender. It's 2644. Part of that is the survival of the tribe. The other part is that the way I speak can penetrate the essence of your being. I was like, I'm going to love telephone. It's really funny. So I want to read this to you. So you are gate 24, the return. Now you're in the quarter of initiation, which I'm sure you know about. It feels like you know this, like you know this, like you know this. So gate 24 is the return. You are the right angle cross of the 4 ways. Okay, so let's just take a deep breath together. This is so beautiful. People whose very direction evolves consciousness and form together by seeking clarity or resolution through constantly revisiting mental concepts. What, where, who is God? And so there's so much of this as you travel through, as a manifester, as this depth, you have this incredible ability to go deep and then to speak that truth out, right? And so I really entice you as you look into this, how far you go into it. You have a completely open G center. Like it's complete. Your incarnational star is here to experience everything it is with love and direction and all of that. And so, I really, I invite you to really, to check that out and see what that means. You've got both arrows on the left side going left. So you're very strategy oriented, which is really beautiful. You also carry this 2644 channel. So anything that you get behind and that and like if we were to pair up together, especially would be amplified to help protect and support the tribe and ensure that those around you are properly supported. And, and there is this beauty. They're talking to me now. Yeah, there is this beauty within you and how you have this openness, especially because you only have also one active gate in your sacral. So you really are like, you can experience so much of that. And really, in a sense, as a manifester, should you choose to who you surround yourself with in your inner circle is really of utmost importance. These are people who are really wanting, they're really there to support you. And of course, have that beautiful sacral life force energy. And you won't be swayed by their emotions or their, or their fears, because both of those are defined centers, right? So you have consistent source there. Your throat is also defined and your root. So you've really got this good, like balanced cycle within you. What I'm hearing is through this, then they really want me to focus on this open G center, this love, this incarnational star, through this ability to be completely open. And because you are a manifester, you really have the opportunity to really help those around you through your knowledge and your expansion. And especially, like they keep saying Taurus, to really come in and help people find and discover new levels of love and life and experience being a human and what that is. And, I think that also ties into your profile. So, I say go deeper into that. If there's a place that you really want to go deep in, like, and that's the thing, that's the best part about a manifestor. You just have to tell people. My beautiful husband and my son are both manifestors. And ever since we learned that the one strategy to inform our whole life is different. And it's like, and it seems silly sometimes, right? Like when you choose to do something, when you choose not to do something, because you have that natural energy. And then what will end up happening is naturally those around you will form and they'll get used to it and they'll like it. And because to be real, like, and this is what cracks me up when I tell my husband this, I don't care what he does. I just want to know what it is. I just want to know. And that's an innate because the second that you inform someone, that you tell them what you're doing, you're inviting them into your heart space, into your experience, right? And then they, in turn, are inspired to go out and create. Yeah. I'm just checking with your guides to ensure that I delivered that correctly. As the wind and the waters begin to rise, people will turn towards you as the mountain, as the stability. That is the gift of the manifester, is it not? Is to be able to stand in the face of the darkness and to give it a full belly laugh and to tell it that you are the light and you are here to stay and they are invited to come in and play. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. It's really, you've got this really cool adventure. Take it by its horns, man. You're meant to do that. Mm-hmm. You're meant to. And this is the thing, you guys, this is so fun, is this is like, yes, we're moving into this period of unique frequency and individuality and really, on our own, and everything's changing and all of that. But the more we stand in our truth and shine our light, the more that we kind of come in sync, and each note starts to become, 2 notes, 3 notes, then it becomes a bar, and then it's a symphony, and then we have this whole beautiful song. And so Amber, like, you're one of the ones that kind of help shape and decide what that is, what that looks like, and your ability to pierce into the future and your ability to then articulate that and then not be swayed by opinions and everything around you, to be able to like really, like, they're just like Taurus. Mm-hmm. That is what is going to be so needed. And because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be very lost and very scared and not know how to regulate their emotions. And you're going to be like, I got you. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm feeling.
You can stand strong while the water flows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so, tune into yourself and decide if, like, how you want to explore that, how you really want to allow that part of you, the parts that resonate, and decide what that is and how you want to do it, because this is your world and we're here living in it. So create it. I love it. Thank you so much. That was really fun. I hope that helps. Yeah. I think I'm done. I'm complete. Your guides are very happy with what I said, so that's good.
That's always nice.
All right. Who's next on our list?
Kimberly, which is the friend of Amber.
Oh, perfect.
Unless Pia's here. No.
Yeah, are you here? I know you might be sleeping.
Yeah, it's a very different time in Germany.
Yeah,
it is right for us.
It may make more sense to even. I feel like they're gonna, now that we've spoken. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing it? Sorry, guys. This chart thing is so part of the thing. So we'll do this again too, right? This is our first time figuring out how to make it flow and like what makes the most sense. And so thank you all so much for your patience as we do this. But there is a lot of like prepping. Guides happy is always a good sign. Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you. All right, let's make this magic happen. Let's make this magic happen. I'm going to have to come up with a lot of songs. I'm going to have to talk to Angela and be like, hi, can you just make like 30 interlude songs, please, that I can sing.
Turn on the happy song.
It's my interlude. 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 It's my interlude. Interlude. Interlude.
All right, so we're doing Kimberly. Is Kimberly there with you, Amber, or watching maybe separately somewhere?
Oh, great question. USA. USA.
I like that my computer just now told me that I was on a live.
Thanks, computer.
Like,
You're
Facebook
so
was like,
sweet.
"You're on a live," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I sure am." Okay, cool. All right. So, Kimberly, you are a Sag sun and a Taurus moon, and a Sag rising. So, double Sag.
My type.
And I actually had a boss who was opposite that. She was a Taurus sun, Sag rising. So, I guess the rising is the same, but yeah. So this kind of makes sense. You probably see a lot of things from, you can understand Amber's perspective because you've got that moon sign. You understand what makes her feel safe, what makes her feel comfortable, and vice versa, right? You guys can kind of fulfill that for one another. So Sagittarius, we talked a lot about Taurus for Amber, but Sagittarians, they are the sign of expansion. So that's expansion in philosophy, in the mind. Kind of the way I like to think of the fire signs is Aries starts the spark. Leo kind of builds the fire. They're like the determined sign that keeps it going. And then Sagittarius is what like bursts it open into a big flame ball and sends it across the world, right? They're like big and they're loud and they're yes and they're this and they're fun and they're and they're like traveling and pulling in new countries and it's really, really fun to be around them. LBC's husband's a Sag, and it was a struggle for me because I'm a Capricorn when we first got together. Because I'm all like doom and gloom and pessimism, and he's all like party over here, party over there. And so for a long time, like it took us a while to get to a point. Thankfully, he's got a Capricorn moon, just like you have that rooted Earth moon, you know. So like he's party over here, party over there, but then he can like bring it into like applying that wisdom down to earth kind of thing, which is really, really neat. So you've got kind of that flair too, which is really beautiful. And essentially, so you are, like I said before, you know, your sun sign is usually where you start off, or your rising sign is where you start off, and you're kind of more your rising sign. And then as you age, you dive into your sun sign a little bit more. So both of those are the same for you, which is really beautiful. And then your moon sign. So what makes you feel most secure is having that sense of security, having your priorities in order, people respecting your priorities and ethics and your boundaries. There's nothing better than a boss saying like, no, I'm not going to make you stay late. Like, please go be with your family. Like, I will pay you what you're worth. Like, there's nothing more relieving for you than having those moments come through. I'm taking a look here at your houses just to see if we've got anything really stacked in one house. You've got a pretty even distribution from your 10th house all the way to your second house, which is really cool. So that just means, you know, you've got a lot of things you're working on in this lifetime, which is really beautiful. You actually do have a progressed moon in Gemini for realsies. Your sun is in Capricorn right now, but yeah, you really do have a progressed moon in Gemini. So like I misspoke to Amber, you are feeling a little bit more sociable right now, a little bit more excited to get out there and do things, a little more interested in learning new stuff and taking in new ideas and hearing other people's opinions that you might not, you know, things might not trigger you as much as they did when you're like a full Taurus, right? You're like, normally them having that strong of a different opinion for me would really bother me, but I am like, I'm kind of like open to listening to it right now. Like you can really step into other people's mindsets a little more easily with that Gemini placement. Because Taurus believes what it believes. Like once it finds something that's proven true, it like sticks with the tried and true method over and over again. So Gemini is like the total opposite of that. Gemini is like, I'm listening over here and I'm listening over here. And it's like collecting all of this data and just like being able to step in all sides of things. So you may find that this is a really good time for you to be able to listen and communicate effectively with other people right now. They're telling me to talk about your North Node because your North Node is also in Sagittarius. So this is really cool because I've met people who have their opposite sign as their sun sign in their North Node, and that's really hard. But so essentially, if you don't know anything about North Nodes and South Nodes, South Node is what you've already come in as a master of. So the opposite of Sag, I want to say, is, oh, I guess it will tell me. It'll tell me what your South Node is. I don't have to Google it. Maybe it will. It's like one of those moments where I'm not entirely sure how to use these like new charts.
Yeah, you have a new chart program, right?
Yeah. Cool. And I'm like, where's all the stuff? I'm like an old person who's like mad that they changed weather.com, you know? Like,
oh my gosh, we're in the moment when a millennial is starting to feel like a Gen Xer, starting to feel like a guys, transitional life.
That's exactly true. Okay, Gemini. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the opposite side of Sagittarius is Gemini. So you've come in mastering that open-mindedness, which means your moon is real happy right now. Yeah. Like your moon is like, ooh, we know this. This is familiar, but it might be a little bit harder to access your goal, which is becoming more Sag. So it's beautiful that you made the contract to experience becoming a Sag, and you came in with a Sag sun and rising. That makes your life a little bit easier. But because you've come in more Gemini, you may feel that struggle of like, why don't I feel like a typical Sagittarius? Like when you read things, you're like, that just like doesn't really feel like me or resonate with me or whatever. Which makes me wonder what your Mercury is in Scorpio. Yeah. Your Mercury is how you communicate. It's your intellect kind of thing. And so Scorpio is all about the evolution, the transformation. And so I could see that you've probably kind of gone through like this identity crisis when you were younger, and then are slowly coming into this phase of like, ooh, I think I know who I am now. And then you'll be like the wise and sage as you get older, and you'll be able to help shepherd people through the emotional process of like things like imposter syndrome or something like that, you know, are going to be things that you'll be able to sort of help people with. Hopefully that makes sense, resonates, but that's kind of all I've got as far as like pop astrology goes.
I love it. It's ancient. It's pop. It's new. Yeah. It's old.
Whatever you want to brand it as, just learn it. It's good for you.
Yeah, it's good for you. It's tasty. It's a tasty treat.
It's like a little mind vitamin. Just take it. It's good.
Yeah. Okay, Kimberly, this is super cool because I'm just going to say, hey, Manny Jen, what's happening?
Oh, yeah.
What I've been learning about manifesting generators, because Sami and my daughter are both manifesting generators, and also LBC and her husband. So we've got in our circle, in our physical circle here, right? And then we've got Terry over in England, Kaylee's husband's a manager. So I'm obsessed, just leave it, because it's such a cool little tweak on the generator type. So you have a natural ability through your sacral. This is your portal to the life force to create, right? Like the tree of life within you, and to allow it to be expressed. You have two places. You have a split definition, and most humans have this, right? So you have two places that need to come into alignment. And you're an emotional being too, so you get to hurry up and wait. And so first and foremost, the most important thing is to respond. So you hang out and you respond. It's nice that, yeah, I know, I love Manny Jen's, man. Oh my gosh, I love all of it. It's like each one has its own beautiful little flavor. And for me, it's like the greatest. And so you're going to know when you are entering something correctly, when you're responding, because then you can turn on that like sweet little manifester side and just say, I'm going to do this thing. And because you've entered it correctly, you essentially will be able to, it'll be like super efficient, super easy. You're like a boss ass multitasker, like you can do it. So I think especially because of this emotional side, and, you know, and this is a deep discussion that Sami and I actually had today about manifestation generators, is The ability to release the need to complete everything in one day.
Yeah.
And so this is really about, and you have this beautiful manifestor friend, use her, right? Inform, have her inform you. We're going to eat sushi today. And you go, no, I'm not feeling that. Allow yourself to really come into that barometer, that emotional barometer. Now, I think what's super cool about Manny Gens, and this is just from my own little data bank right here, right? And when I've been reading about them, is because they've got that sweet little manifestor, they don't have to do every step. So if you trust your emotional barometer and your emotional way of being, in that authority, in that emotional authority, you will have the ability to really do that. Now, you've got the 5-1 profile. That's the heretic investigator. You're here to be a leader in that way, and leading as being on the front lines of things, being that like a teacher or a first responder, somewhere out there that can really stand in utter chaos and be at total peace. Right. And so part of that true testament to who you are is you have this incredible ability of, when you dive in all the way, and you see the truth for what it is. That's your unconscious one profile, right? And that is that you will go to the depths and you will be like, true, not true. And your emotional authority will tell you, and you respond to your life. And so all of this thing is really what I'm hearing for you, that your team is really wanting to, I'm going to also read your incarnational cross because I think it's so beautiful. And this ties into that Sag and that Scorpio and all of this. You've really come here to really help humanity in such a beautiful way. So I'm just going to read the profile as is because I just love it so much with your incarnation cross. It's so beautiful. Okay. So you are gate 5. And this is in the quarter of mutation. So you're part of the contagion, girl. Oh my gosh, I love it. So gate 5, you are the left angle cross of separation 2. That is correct. Just double checking that I'm reading the correct thing. Okay. Now, so just as before, so any kind of emotional thing, just allow yourself to receive this in your heart space, in your solar plexus, wherever your emotion comes in, wherever that is, right? It's different for everyone. They just kind of use the solar plexus as the like the anchoring point in the system. My gosh, I just love this so much. People open to love who are trying to make sense of the past by separating themselves from patterns and relationships that didn't work out in order to see the exquisite beauty in and bring changes to the larger patterns of life. And there's something really beautiful that Sages can do in this, right? Is bringing that party, bringing that life to life. And so what I'm hearing from your guides, I just want to look, they're going to show me something. So I just want to make sure that I'm looking at the correct thing. Right. So when you're in your space is really tuning in to how you receive information and how you express that information. There's a lot of receiving I'm feeling too for you. Mm-hmm. So to dive deep into this, what they're telling me is to really allow yourself to experience like roller coasters and jumping out of airplanes and climbing up a really high mountain and like kind of like looking over the edge, like really all of that to like really like juice up your energy in that way, and that'll help spread everything out. And giving voice to that and to that experience. And through that experience, it will help kind of bring like the zest for love and the zest for life, with not just within yourself, but with those around you and with humanity. So, I think it would be so fun for you and Amber to get together and kind of banter back and forth and dreamweave and see what that is and how you want to experience life together in that way. especially because you both have such a beautiful blend of the left brain and the right brain together. So there's a lot of levels that you can see. I know they want me to go into like so much stuff. They're like, and this, and this, and this.
Mhm.
So
I feel she needs that intuitive seeker deep dive with you real bad.
yeah, I definitely, I agree. So as you start to dive in, find those, and it could be me if that resonates. It doesn't have to. Find those people in the tribe or on your path that you really trust. Like, so when you're looking for someone, this is like tuning into your emotions, right? You're responding to life. You're like, okay, I want to learn more, and so like tuning into that emotion and letting that cross through you, saying like, yes, this feels correct to me, and then coming back to it a week later and saying, okay, I'm receiving this question again, or I'm looking things over and this feels correct. And then informing somebody about, hey, I'm going to do this thing. And then really see how that feels when you say it out loud, right? And that's going to be kind of like what I'm hearing is a really good barometer. But I do agree. I think it makes a lot of sense to find those to help you learn how to empower yourself, to dive deeper, to have more of these experiences, to really like get into that zest of life, because it feels like you're really here to like just like reminds people that like it's awesome to be here on earth, and like we've come here, and you know, and without joy, like what is the point? Right. And especially coming in this time frame, right? And there's that emotion of love, you know, and who we are and all of that. So yeah, I agree. Be on the lookout for your guides, whether that's within yourself, whether that's you're wanting teachers without yourself, whether you're, you know, and the most important thing is to trust. And so if you feel the need to like sit and wait, and you know, you're going to tune into it and know what that means and how that is for you, right? And there is that thing, because I mean, really, this is a beautiful thing about like being a generator, right? And a Manny Gen is like, you can respond to literally anything. Like the sun comes out, you're like, I'm responding to the sunshine. Like you don't have to wait for the proper invitation, and then you know what I mean, and then you can just sit in it and go for it. But they are really saying like the zest of life. That's what I'm hearing over and over again. And bringing that emotion of excitement and of passion, and of adventure, to not just yourself but those around you, because through by trusting yourself is how you'll be able to affect the world with joy. That's what I've got. I hope that helps, and I hope it makes sense. I'm done, I think.
Complete.
That feels complete.
All right, so it's April next in line.
April Martin. April Martin.
And April, I know you and I have chatted before when in person a little bit about your chart. So as you know, you've got your sun in Aries, your moon in Pisces, and then you're also an Aries rising. You've actually got a lot of planets stacked in that 12th house, which is the Pisces house. You have Pisces energy going on. But here's the thing. A lot of times the Pisces energy can get stuck in what they want reality to be, you know, kind of like Disney dreaming, one day my prince will come type attitude. But because you've got that Aries in there that really like sparks and leads and goes and takes off, it's a beautiful, harmonious place to be. Although you might feel pulled in two different directions a lot of times, because your sun is telling you like, let's go, let's do this, let's get out. So is your rising sign, and your moon is like, let's sit and dream about it. What if we just took a couple of more minutes and decided exactly how perfect we wanted our life to be? And so, but that's a good thing, right? Like your moon prevents you, I think, because again, that in the opposite side, the trap of an Aries is sometimes they just kind of like go full steam ahead into something. And then they are like, ooh, whenever they get there and are like, oh, I don't know how I got myself in this situation. So like I said, this is a really, really cool balance here, which I really enjoy. So 12th house. 12th house is the house of closures, spirituality, karmic endings, the afterlife, what's hidden, your subconscious brain. And I think I told you this in Virginia, but I really do feel that you are going to be able to take a lot of this stuff and make it pretty kid friendly for people. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you have a background in tech, which is also really cool because tech people's brain works very linearly, and that means you have that communication portion of really being able to communicate that out. What's your Mercury? Your Mercury's Pisces too. Yeah. Yeah. So you've got a lot of things really lining up. It seems like you're kind of, I would say, one of the more important life themes for you are helping people come to some kinds of karmic closures, um, work through some deep cyclical trauma they've maybe been stuck in for multiple lives. If you believe in past lives, you're going to be really good at supporting in that way, because not only do you have that fire, but you've got that water too. So you can switch from passion to understanding, like, very, very quickly. Let's talk about your progressed moon, which is in Pisces.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Love it. So it's back where it wants to be. It's back where it always is. And it knows that realm. The moon likes to be in Pisces. It's a water sign. So it enjoys being there. It doesn't fight you too much. So the way that you feel most secure is by having your kind of dreams and intuition respected. That's a big thing for you. You want, when you have that gut reaction, you want the other person to be like, I trust that gut reaction in you. I trust your intuition. I trust your emotional response to that. You really need someone to give you that that kind of phrasing or that kind of acknowledgement whenever you come through that.
Apparently our PayPal link is misspelled.
Oh, really? I can fix that. That's my bad, everyone.
Thanks,
It sure
Meredith.
is. Ooh, good catch.
Excellent attention to detail.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for letting us know. That is really great.
Let's see. Yep, I think it's fixed now. Okay. So, like I said, if you have any specific questions, let me know. But I know you and I have talked for a bit about your chart already, a little bit. So,
An excuse to say your name is my favorite. All right. You ready, April?
get
We're
ready.
about to get into it. Answer the question. Excellente. Well, my friends, as a generator, as an alchemist, as a builder, you've come here to master. And I love so much about everything that Sami said and all about that, and really helping people. Your profile has got that beautiful 1-4. So you're really here to get deep, and then to really understand that all of that at such a like depth, and then be kind of like the transition. You also, your profile is just like this beautiful thing of really going within, and then bringing and begin to bring it out. It's like enticing the masses in a way to like start to look at a new way, or know that there's always hope, and there's always another way, right? That they're not stuck. Being a generator, of course, that is all about waiting to respond, which can be kind of interesting. So, as I said before, it's always about, you can respond to anything in life, like a bird going left as opposed to right, or anything of that. So with this, your chart is saying you've got a split definition. So there's two places in your body where you really want to get that. Your authority is in your sacral. So that's very that in the actual life force. Is this correct? Is this not correct? I'm hearing a good way for you to even use your own body as like a pendulum. They're like really opening up right now of a or swaying in that. And, and it could come up also, but it is a natural instinctual part of your system, and to really find that where that is. And that is that it might just be like you always look like up to the left when it's correct for you, learning how your system operates. Ra'uruhu, he always says it's a vocal thing. So just lean into that and trust what it is. As an investigator, you're going to go all the way to the end anyway. So this is just kind of the fun part about it. You are really here. If this feels correct to you, kind of asking the question, like, what are you here to experience? Are you here to experience every emotion? Are you here to help with humanity? Very specific yes, no questions will be really helpful for you. And allowing that to, this is what I like. I love so much. You've got in your split definition, right? Is you've got your sacral and your root and your solar plexus all tied together, right? So you've got all of that in there, and there's all of these layers and everything. And then there's this beautiful break in between to experience that and to come into contact with people. And when those channels are connected, you have all three channels complete between the ajna and the voice. So you can bring all concepts into the world through your voice, which is so important. And I want to read your quarter of initiation. You are in the theme is a purpose filled through the mind. So you're part of the personality crystal here to come to earth at this time. And I just love this so much. I just want to make sure that I'm in the right place. I am. Okay. So I'm going to ask this kind of like a question, and I'd like you to be like, and, right. And so test that out and see how that feels. Right. And then, go from there. Gate 51 is known as the arousing, and you are the right angle cross of penetration. People who catch us off guard and get our attentions with their penetrating intuitive insight, ideas which can shock, shift, or mutate our perceptions. I mean, and because you can bring it into voice, right? These concepts, and you can allow them to come in, and then you can churn them through your system and really, really get into that depth and allow them to come out. Does it feel correct to you that you are a driving force of change? Does it feel correct to you that you have the ability to speak of all the things that you are learning to help others, right? Okay, they want me to look at your not self keynotes and talk about this. What your team is asking for you to focus on. So I'm going to give the list of the not self keynote themes. And they're asking you to lean in and say, And so, and you can even even though that is, you can still come back to it, right? You always have the choice, guys. All paths lead to home. Like, no matter what, we're here to experience it. You've chosen this blueprint, and it's fucking amazing. Oop. I didn't even know that was going to happen. Okay. So, all right. So let's do that. So we're going to try this together. Okay. And you don't have to type anything if you don't want to. Don't feel pressured. This is really just about you leaning in. Okay. Not self keynotes. Feeling unworthy and undervalued. Should you focus on that? Avoiding confrontation and truth. This is coming from your solar plexus area. Should you focus on that? Fixated on finding love and direction. Does it feel correct to focus on that? Thinking about things that don't matter. Does it make sense to focus on that? Yeah. Okay. So feeling unworthy and undervalued. Do you think you have something to prove? Lean into your yes and no in that. And based on that, allow yourself to then start asking questions to yourself, using yourself as your own barometer, right? Your yeses and nos, right? And allow yourself to explore that. Are you looking for direction and love? Okay. So then leaning into that and deciding what that is, and just go with that and explore those things, right? And allow yourself to conceptualize what that is. And when you've come into that, and allow yourself to go as deep as it feels good to you, right? You've got the sustainable power to do so. You've got that beautiful life force within you. What I'm hearing is, should you choose to do this in this way, and that feels correct to you, and you're if that is also correct to you, is how you're going to be able to just so naturally go deep and research that, and then be able to really bring this out in such a beautiful way. And you may not always even need to, they're like saying, you may not even also need to necessarily vocalize it through your voice, which is like such a convenient way for humans to gain information, but by your aura. This, like, Sami was saying, as that Aries part of you, right? They're showing me this fire that you will just be able to emanate from your being, of your understanding. And that in of itself, people will be attracted to that flame, that energy, and to come in, and you'll be able to then respond to that and then decide, does this feel correct to share this information? When people ask you questions. And thank you for that update, Sami. And so I hope that helps. In that way, it is really about not just that, but it's really giving voice to that afterwards. And does that still feel correct once it's given its voice? Whether that be energetically and you're beaming that out through your throat chakra, or whether you're actually giving it real voice. And I think in that moment, then you will know the truth of things, and how that you will be able to truly be able, do you feel you'll at that time to truly be able to really step in and experience this beautiful growth of bringing worlds together. That's my suggested homework, should that call to you. I hope that helps. They're like, it's complete for now. She'll do her own investigative work. Don't worry. So you can always feel free to come back and ask questions. Like I said, I've got one in my profile, so I need to know everything, all the tea, all of it. And then I also have to experience it, because I'm a 3. So that's a good time. You guys get to benefit or not. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
We begin. You've got the list.
All right, it's on to little Wyatt now.
Okay.
Oh, which I did not put into my thing while I was having downtime.
Downtime. Do we have his information somewhere?
Yes, let me see how far back I sent it to you.
Thanks, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this.
She sent it in a separate message to both of us.
Oh, spectacular. Whoa. I know. That's so crazy. Jess, our babies are born like really close together in time. That's really bizarre. And kind of close in dates too, in the days. That's weird how that works. Is it? Is it weird? No, it's normal. It's normal how it works for us, you guys.
Yeah, we're learning weird is just our typical baseline normal now.
We're like, oh, it's magical. Because things just naturally work out for us.
It's true. We're very lucky in that way.
We are very lucky and blessed in that way. We are beginning to wander through This wild world of magic and poo.
Excellent.
It's got to rhyme it, man. Yeah, I'm a 1-3 projector, splenic projector. So basically, I'm Pinkie Pie. If you know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Nieso kotoria shanakratia tusku yiniatus urotarakiki. Tiash kotoria nakotos kura arkpopotos iskiniat us urahish kadhimiatus kuri. Yeah. So Jess, they're telling me right away for us to dive into the rave cosmology with Wyatt because he's born so close to the shift. So I guess we're going to party together. You feel like partying together? It'll be great. I encourage and invite you to come party with me.
You said that very nicely to your boyfriend there.
Hello, boyfriend. You guys, my microphone's my boyfriend, in case you didn't know.
Sometimes I get real close and we just talk like this, cheek to cheek.
All right. Wyatt is a Leo, and he's a degree 3, so he's a little baby Leo even. And then he's got a Capricorn moon, bless his heart. And then he's a Virgo rising.
Oh man.
This is an extremely determined child. Which is beautiful when things are flowing and going his way, and maybe not so beautiful when he feels as though he's having someone stand in his way. So like I've talked about before, he's probably more showing a lot of those Virgo characteristics a lot more as he's younger, and he'll grow into that Leo leadership role as he gets older. He'll learn, the lion gains the respect of the lamb by respecting the lamb first, right? So he'll grow into that kind of wizened Leo leadership later in life. But right now, it's a beautiful time to stand in his own power and figure out where he is in the world and how he wants to lead and who he wants to lead and what he wants to lead about. Capricorn moon. So the way that he feels most secure would be for his achievements to be recognized. So that verbal confirmation of like, oh my gosh, buddy, you drew a beautiful picture. You know what I mean? Or like, oh my goodness, look at this. Look how well you did on your math facts or whatever, like he like really, really wants that like recognition of like, yeah, I did it. I did a really good job. I'm looking at his placements. He doesn't have anything stacked in one house or the other, which is totally fine. Except for the 5th house, there's a lot in there. I've got a lot in my 5th house too. It makes me additionally more creative. The 5th house is the Leo house. So that's the house of creation, of play, of inner child stuff. He will likely maintain his childlike wonder all throughout life. That'll be like a beautiful thing that sticks with him and probably even develops and deepens as he ages. So just let him play and create, and especially a really important thing is acknowledging the things he creates. Because Leo is all about like showcasing off their beautiful creations. It's like what most actors are Leos, right? Because it's like they create from this central heart space, and then they love that like limelight recognition thing. So that it's a very attractive place for a Leo to be in a career like that. So I would say both being a Leo sun and a Capricorn moon, that recognition of accomplishment is going to be super, super important. Let's talk about his current moon right now. He is in a Pisces moon currently. So this is still that introverted style moon. This is way more emotion than he's normally going to have. So Capricorns are usually, they have emotion, but they're very like sensitive. Like they can get their feelings hurt really, really quickly. A Capricorn, like you wouldn't know that about them because they kind of like maintain this like stank face. That's what I call it. You know, like I've always been told I have RBS, or is that what it's called? RBF, resting bitch face. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they kind of like keep that like, but you wouldn't know it, but like they're very easily hurt by things. The Pisces that he's in right now is going to like just make, instead of that emotion being like more hidden and like bursting out, you may just see the emotion like eeping out all over the place. So like he might be crying more than normal, or really digging in, or like when things don't go the way that he's envisioned them, that's really painful right now, because he's kind of like in a space of dream weaving and and like really thinking of what he wants to do and digging into his intuition. And when that's crushed, that's like extra crushing for him in this current moment. So hopefully that's helpful. That's just a little bit about him. I try not to dive like too heavily into kid stuff, because they still have all that growth that they can do, and things kind of like, you know, you don't want to like pigeonhole them into one thing when they're very little, because there's a lot that can shift and change.
Yeah. I'm going to sneeze, I think. I'll clear some stuff.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay. So Wyatt is a self-projected projector. So this is like the most fun possible scenario ever. This is going to be like a wild ride, which is really good. So I know you've done some stuff on this. So being the role model, the opportunist role model, he really is in his younger years, is to help bring change through experience, and really bring that out a little bit and kind of be that transitional person. So what I'm really hearing is they want me to read directly from the book for projector children, to really allow you to sit with that. And, you know, it's so interesting, you know, because I'm a projector, right? Thanks so much, everyone, for your donations. You guys are like the greatest. This is so fun. So it's really important. Recognition is everything, right? And so I had this really interesting moment in the car with someone who I love very much. And she said the most interesting thing to me, because the person that she was speaking of is a projector, and she's younger, right? And she's like, she's so fine as long as she's always recognized. But the second we don't recognize her, she just goes out and she's just so bitter. And I was like, yeah, because she's a projector. That's who she is. And she goes, well, when is she going to get over that? She needs to grow up. And I went, never. She's never going to get over it. That is who she is. It is inconvenient for that it's different. I get it, you know, but this is why we're here, to thrive in our individuality and be able to see that in each other. And Wyatt, I believe, is really going to help with that. So I want to read from the book directly. And then I want to read the Incarnation Cross, because I think that'll really be good. But it is really so much in the beginning of his years, in the first 30 years of his life, is to really experience. So I think for you, as you really search into this, and like, I'm so happy to like get on this train with you and help you explore. But there are, I'm actually have a session scheduled with someone who is specializes in child analysis. And so I have like 6,000 questions for her, because I also want to specialize in the children, because as you all know, like, we're all important, right? But if I just think to myself, holy cow, if my mom had a map for me, she probably wouldn't have had to run marathons. Like, I think about this, right? And like how we work in all of this. And so this is what it says. So this is for everyone. So just, if you have the projectors, you know, projector children, here we go. This is directly from the book. It is particularly important to the extreme sensitive projector child that the parents be intentional about their own energy mechanics. Part of parental support includes recognizing ways the child manages or interacts with healthy energies early on. Teaching projector children to recognize themselves, to know when they are recognized by others, and to recognize what is a correct invitation feels like places them on a track to success. This is all the encouragement they need to practice their strategy and authority and to appreciate their uniqueness as a projector. Parents who invite and recognize their projector children give them a chance to develop, express, and feel the power of being who they truly are. Children who are taught to recognize and wait for the correct receptive audience grow up to be successful, well-adjusted adults who can express their gifts with clarity and integrity in the world. Now this talks about, I'm just going to finish it out. So it says, emotional projector children must also be invited, but without any pressure being placed on them to make a decision in the moment. This gives them the chance to get in touch with their emotional wave. When they are in a community that recognizes them, they will grow and thrive. If they are put under pressure to accept invitations or to make decisions before they have a chance to process and know what is right for them, they can easily end up confused, bitter, and unsuccessful. So that's for any emotional person. This is what they talk about. It is so imperative that you wait, that you don't make decisions and you sit in it. So that's what they wanted me to read from that. And now they want me to read the profile. This is coming, a combo package from your guides and his guides. Right angle cross of the unexpected, gate 31. So the quarter of civilization, this is the purpose filled through form. So he really is here to experience life, right? Influence. People with the inherent power to attract the collective's attention who become our unexpected leaders or heroes. Their nurturing influence is discovered and acclaimed in the midst of the unexpected. Okay, here's what I'm hearing for all of this and putting this all together. By you tuning into yourself and really allowing yourself, you are going to help all of those around you to do that, right? And so that is what he's going to learn. And so if you are able to really lean into that, he is unexpected. These kids that are being born now, they're nothing like us. Maybe a few of us, but most of them, and they're here to teach us. And if we're smart and wise, we will help guide them in the way that is right. And so this is what we're all learning together. And we are learning this together. There's very few guides, right? And there's tons of stuff out there, but then we got to figure out what resonates and what doesn't resonate, and where our tribe is. And so we're setting up the space. We are building the foundation for them to thrive and grow. So I really want you, what I'm feeling is it correct for you to trust yourself? Is it correct for you to do what feels right? Now, there is going to be a lot of rebellion because we are going against the norm. We are. But as you can see, by allowing him the space and the opportunity to grow as he is meant to, will allow him to be able to lead a very successful, recognized, and loved life. And it will also just on the mom side, make you feel really good, man. Because the one thing about projectors that I've noticed and I've listened to, and oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how much, it's crazy. Because they always want to be recognized, they are the first to recognize too. So they will see you, Wyatt could be like 4 and be like, Mommy, thank you so much for being such a beautiful mommy and knowing I need to rest. Right. And it'll just be that thing. And you're going to be like, ugh. Right. Because you spend this whole time. And that's what we do as parents. Right. Or anytime we help raise. And, and this goes with not in our whole tribe, not just children, but everyone around us. Are we doing the right thing? Is this best for them? Is this best for us? Like, we're all learning this together, right? We've got this crazy web. But yeah. Yeah. Yep. The more you know you, the more he'll be able to know him. That's what I'm hearing. So I hope that helps those two things.
His team is fun, by the way.
Side note. All right. I hope that helps, friend. Thank you so much. Woof. What's next on the docket?
It's Miss Lily.
Oh, it's the beads. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one too. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
All right, Jessica, we've got a sun in Aries, moon in Leo, and a rising Gemini sign here. So what does all of that mean? I wanted to actually check her really quickly. Only 2 things in fire, though. Is that true? Yeah. Yeah. So she's like front loaded her chart in fire, but there's not much fire anywhere else. In fact, majority of her planets are in, or like the most of her planets are in water. And so that's really interestingly cool. Wait, these 2 things are different.
Do. We need an interlude song. Do. We got an interlude song. Do.
Did I type something in? Which place did I type something in wrong? Now we have to play that game.
This is my favorite. I think about like, you guys, what if we like did this by hand? Like I think about the astrologers like way back in the day.
Oh yeah. My Manny Jen would have no patience for that.
I don't think there were Manny Gens back then. They were just like, we're not coming to Earth until technology has caught up. I am so sorry.
Okay. This one, I know I typed everything in right. So I'm going to go by this one. Okay. So that is, I'm so sorry. That is Aries sun, moon in Scorpio, which is still like the more fiery of the water signs, and then a Gemini rising. So you've got an air rising sign, a water moon, and a fire sun. And all of those elements like to be placed where they are. She can not only, Scorpios are, okay, where do I want to start? There's so many things. Where do I want to start? Aries loves to be in the sun because the sun and Aries are so similar. Aries is a lot about like the self and getting started and identity and movement and like all of that kind of thing, your approach to life. And then the sun obviously identifies like your ego, your external personality, all of those things. So she may be feeling a little more Gemini right now because that's her rising sign. And so you're going to see a lot of open-mindedness. You're going to outwardly see a kiddo who struggles to sometimes know what their identity is because every identity feels really valid to them. It's not because they're wishy-washy. It's because they literally understand and see everybody else's point of view. And so you're going to see that a lot in the teenage years too, most likely is my guess, is that this is going to be a kiddo that like jumps from friend group to friend group to friend group kind of thing because they really feel like they can fit into all of them, which is really, really beautiful. And having a Scorpio moon means that they can emotionally understand all of them. So Scorp moon. Scorpio likes to be in the moon. The Scorpio is the little bit more intense, and Scorpio goes through this beautiful transformation throughout its entire life. You've probably heard me talk about this before, because when the Scorpio is young, it stings. It stings. And it tries to, it like gets reactions out of people. And what it's doing is it's trying to figure out which sting creates which reaction. It's trying to understand emotion logically a lot of the times. And so then it goes through this median phase of like dealing with its trauma. Like the Scorpio will deal with its trauma so early in life and like really try to suss that out and be like, and like really try to work through all of that, because the last phase of Scorpio is like this beautiful Sage, wise, emotional master of the zodiac. And they really can like hold incredible space that a lot of the other water signs really can't. But they also like, they can be vindictive when they're younger. They can be very secretive. They like to keep their personal life pretty personal. They like to hold on to things for a long time. So what makes Lily feel most secure is being able to share what she wants when she wants, which is really difficult. And when she shares something from that emotional center, even if it's not rational, she really wants to hear like, thank you. You know, like you don't have to say like I feel that way too, or whatever like that. She's just looking for you to be like, thank you so much for sharing that for me, because sharing a secret, sharing that emotion is really difficult for a Scorpio. So what makes them feel good is when they do go the extra mile and share it. They like to hear that, like, you know, atta girl kind of thing. Just gonna look at houses really quickly. She's got a 4-planet stack in the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of Scorpio.
Weird.
So transformations are going to be really, really important for her. Other people's resources and bringing people together and matching the right types of people and knowing what to do with certain people. That's really, really important to her. That'll probably be what her lifelong work is. And again, like I said, when the kids are that young, I don't like to give these like lofty predictions, right? Because you would hate to then like force them or pigeonhole them into this certain description. But I can tell that that's gonna like she's gonna come home from school and be like, well, so-and-so wasn't fair to this other person and hurt their feelings. And that's gonna like just affect her in like this deep way, especially having that Gemini and Aries in there too, because it's like that passion and that understanding of where that person's coming from is just coming right out. So this is a kid that really gets what fair is and really wants everybody to have what they deserve. So that can come out in a beautiful way sometimes of like, you're like, oh, she's just so empathetic and she really gets it. And that can come out in like really like explosive emotional moments. And you're like, what in the world just happened? Our house just got flipped upside down and I don't know what the deal is. And then she might, because of that Scorpio moon, might not be interested in telling you what happened in that moment. You know, it might take her a while to really say it. So it feels like Allison's got a lot of fun things for you. So
I'm just laughing because like the only defined center she has is her sacral and her root. She is here to party. She's here to have life. She's here to experience everything. She's like, even in her right angle cross of Maya, this I just love it. Trendsetters grounded in properly evaluated detail who promote growth by bringing one cycle to completion, thus setting the stage for inspired new beginnings. All of that. So this queen has rolled in to really, really, really help us be better humans. All of like everything Sami just said, I was like, yep, that's it there, that's it there. So I think a really interesting gate for you to kind of keep an eye on is gate 16. That is half, it's gate 16, and the other half of that is gate 48. So she doesn't have the complete channel. So I'm curious until she like connects with those who have that complete that channel there is like a really fun channel. But truly, because she's got that this is like such a great experience for you, and she's a generator, right? And so this is where like it feels like to me like y'all can have a really exciting time, like eventually, like whatever you want, you just ask her, and she's got the juice for it, right? And she's got this zest and this call for life. Plus, she's an investigator. She's a profile 1-3 profile. She wants to experience everything in depth too, right? So you know, really allowing her to grow as she wants and helping her respond to life and knowing and what that is and tuning into that. Like it wouldn't surprise me if her like telepathy came on tomorrow, because she's like, I'm going to try this. And then like 3 years later, she's like, I don't want to do telepathy anymore. I'm done with it. I've experienced it, moving on, right? And you know, and so I think it's going to be it, and I'm sure it has been already, and it's going to continue to be an adventurous, wild, amazing, unpredictable, incredible journey. I mean, and what I'm hearing is she picked you guys because you would allow her to do that. You would encourage this. You would relish in it. You would, I don't think she's been a human that often. I think she's one of the ones that have come because it was called, and she was like, okay, I'm coming, but I have some requests, right? And you're like, I am so stoked to be your mom, right? And to allow that. And it feels like many in your family are really set up to support this. And right. And when a trendsetter is supported, the paths they pave are like, we don't even know, right? Everything's open. And she's got the active mutative gate of 55, right? So she's like living her best life, moving into this new way. And, and really, I think what I'm hearing is tuning into her with her when she gets really scared, or when she's having emotions, or she's trying about, because all of those are amplifying and she's experiencing everything. She wants to get wise on everything, right? It's beautiful. It's a lot though, right? It's a lot. So I think for you, it will be really helpful to really help her. And this is what I'm hearing, and just like Sami, I don't want to pigeonhole either. Like, this is her world and her life and how she chooses. But I think it would be super fun to help give her the tools. I have, my daughter's a Manny Gen, and she's also an Aries. And, I really, and she's got a Gemmy moon. Like, I mean, she really feels it. And she really is the barometer of our household and emotions. And so, I invite you to like lean into that and see what that means. And I don't do it like everybody else. I don't. I naturally have it in me to absolutely rebel, which is sometimes is to my detriment, because some things actually work, right? But I'm here to experience that too. And I feel like if she knows that she has a really strong foundation with her, that she will go out. She will have the confidence to go out. It reminds me of this this really cool study I read. This guy went around the world and he studied all young children in all different cultures. And he found the most interesting thing. The cultures that held their children in the way until they were ready to move. And I'm going to speak specifically of those in the Arctic Circle. They held their children literally because it's freaking snowing out, right? It's like cold all the time. They got little baby feet, right? And by the time they were 5, they were so confident they could come and cuddle and snuggle and be warm, that they could go out like in the tundra, like so far. Where like they were like talking like they go like 5 miles or whatever to the next tribe. And I was like, wait, that baby's 5? Like, I couldn't even imagine my kid crossing the street. And there's something about in that. There's something in there for you to tune in and feel into that and saying, what would that be like for her if she knew she always could come home to you? What could she, you know what I mean? And I think it feels like that's what I'm hearing is why she picked you to be one of her parents. Oh my God. I know that, like, it's literally like when I look at the timelines, I can't even look at it. It's everything. She's here to like even increase those possible timelines, I feel. Mm-hmm. I hope that helps. It's really beautiful. You are doing right. Does it feel like you're correct doing the right thing? Like, does that feel correct to you? That's it. Your team's like inner compass, inner compass, inner compass, inner compass. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to buck the system. You are. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. That's what the tribe's for, right? That's what your those in your community, those here, like us here, like we're here to help and support you and saying, yeah. They're like, gone are the days of pushing everyone down in the ground. They're all meant to sprout and grow. We all deserve the sun and the rain and the moon and the wind. All right. They were like, that's good. Thanks, girl. Who's next on our list? I don't even know.
Allison Arnott. I don't know if Allison's still here. Oh, the dogs are excited. Oh, I said your name. That's why. That's why they think you're here. I said, I don't know if Allison's still here. And they're
And
like,
they heard
Allison.
Allison here, and they're like, "Wait,
We both
what?"
ran to the door.
She
It's not her.
definitely left earlier. I saw her leave.
She's not here. I'm talking about another Allison. Oh, Twyla. Now she's
She's
just pouting.
right. She's like, I can hear her too, so I'm not really sure where
She's
this
like,
is
Mom,
going.
I think you're a big fat liar. That's all right. Allison, you are a
here.
Leo. You are a mature Leo, even. Sun, a Pisces moon, and a Sag rising. So, what does that mean? Your sun. So that means you're a very, I'm sorry, I was looking at your house placements too, because I feel like for some reason that's going to be more important for yours. 8th house. Okay. So you do have 3 planets in your 8th house. That's that Scorpio house. And your sun is in there, your Mercury is in there, and then your Chiron, which is a whole other bag of worms that I'm just now kind of learning all the asteroids. It's a really fun game. But so basically your sun and your communication style are both in the same house. You are very nearly a Virgo. So that makes you a cusper. And so you're going to feel like you have a little bit of the Virgo traits and a little bit of the Leo traits. And that's a really cool thing. Like we have thrown around the idea that Mani-Gens are a mutation of generators. And I would say cuspers are a mutation of the signs because they can step into both 2 different worlds, right? So when you read things about Leo, they might not always feel so accurate for you because you've got that Virgo flavoring in there too. You probably know a little bit about Leos because most people know their sun sign. Leos are determined, they're childlike, they're playful, they can be a little dramatic. Virgos are like the total opposite of that. Virgos like only want to be recognized for the service they do for others. Like they want to be appreciated, but not in the limelight. They're usually pretty introverted, they're analytical, they're systematic. And that can make you an extremely good worker. You're probably incredible at getting things done and getting what you need done. Now, moon in Pisces, I love that that's there because it's really a good watery balance then. And you've got a lot of planets stacked up in water over here. So you feel the emotion, you're able to go with the flow, and you feel the most secure when people are letting you dream, when people are taking your dreams seriously, when people hear your imagination and go into that imaginative world with you, that makes you feel really happy and really good. You've got that moon in the, which house? The 3rd house. The 3rd house is the Gemini house. So not only that's the house of the mind and communication. So you really like when people say to you, you have a beautiful imagination, or what a creative solution, or how did you just intuitively know how to do, like you like to be called out for all of those Piscean type gifts that you have, which is really cool. Rising in Sagittarius. So that's another fire sign. I don't know if you were along when I was talking to Kimberly, but Sag brings the party. They bring the expansion everywhere they go. And so a lot of times they can come in like, ooh, yeah, that kind of thing. And then you'll talk to them and like, oh yeah, I was in Belize the other month and I was studying with monks and you're like, I'm sorry, what? Because you like, when you first meet a Sag, you just think they're like that real rough party boy kind of vibe. And then you talk to them and they like whip out this like crazy knowledge from Buddhist monks and like, I don't even know where, right? So Sag is kind of cool in that way where it just kind of expands wherever it is. And you've got all of those flavors. Kind of impressively, I feel like you are truly able to understand the heart of most people. Like you really see where people are coming from first. I have the opposite problem, and my husband is really good at being like I'll be like, oh my gosh, that person really made me mad. And my husband's really good at being like, well, you don't know, they could have had a hard day. He's got that Libra rising. So he's always got that like, well, let's keep it harmonious, babe. Like, let's not talk about other people kind of thing. And he's really good at curtailing that. I think you're probably really good at that too, where you really see where people are coming from and you're not a judger. You don't judge things. And probably when other people do judge, that might be a really, really big pet peeve for you. Is when people are like just off the cuff talking crap about someone. You're like, what in the world are we even doing here? Like, that's not keeping it light. Although there is that little bit of Leo that likes that tea, right? So they want me to talk about your North Node too.
Yeah.
Because for some reason you need to hear potential life purposes.
Yes.
The North Node is in Scorpio. Okay. So you've already come in. What's the opposite of Scorpio? Taurus. Yeah. So you've already come in previous lives, mastering that stability, that day-to-day routine, all of that stuff. Now the job is to master the realm of emotion. To be a little bit more internal with things. And look at things instead of through the lens of like logical processing, like an earth sign would do, looking at things through a more water lens. Scorpios, like I mentioned before, go through that 3-part transition. So it's time, your main goal is to kind of like evolve and then be able to kind of live in a bit of nostalgia in some way, which is really, that makes your Pisces moon pretty happy to live in nostalgia because it's that dreamy sign. Progressions, your moon is progressed in Aries by 1 degree. So it just entered into that. So that is a very outgoing sign. That is a sign of like starting a whole bunch of things. Don't be surprised if you're starting a whole bunch of things and not finishing them right now. That's totally okay. You're kind of meant to like go with gut instinct right now instead of listening to your emotion and then dreaming it and planning what it will be like. You might find yourself acting and then being in the middle of that action and be like, whoa, how did I get here? You just kind of got that Aries coloring over top of that Pisces moon right now. So it's totally fine because you're going to take it into Taurus. So then Taurus is going to suss out like the things that you started and what's important and what's a priority and what's not. But it's important to kind of taste test them all right now. So that's an okay place to be. All right. I think I'm good.
Yeah. She said everything. I'm just going to confirm everything she literally said. Okay. So she's a Manny Gen.
Ah, that makes sense.
So it really is about informing, going into your emotional, allowing that wave to go through with your ups and downs, right? That wave, and figuring out what kind of wave you have. You've got your profile is, you have a single definition, and I'm just saying what they wanted me to tell you. So you've got the defined ajna to the throat, so you can conceptualize and you can bring that out, right? You also have your spleen and your solar plexus connected to your throat too. And also it's all fueled by your sacral. So you have this beautiful thing. And then there's more. Your sacral also is fueling your G center. You've got a complete channel there. That channel 214, I strongly recommend leaning into that and seeing if that's something that you want to dive in deep to. Let that go through emotional wave, because what you're looking for is connecting with the other. So the other of that channel is the 1-8 channel. So someone who is a leader who's creative and will help bring all of these things, right? And you've got the power and the juice for that. But let's just read your incarnation cross, okay? You are, what gate are you? 29. I just read this and I was like, this is like so great. And I've lost it already. Oh, here we are. You're in the quarter of duality. So the theme is the purpose fulfilled through bonding. Okay, so first and foremost, you have channel 3740, which is the channel of friendship. It's the channel of the tribe. what you do, you literally live for the people, for the tribe, right? Through your own experiences. Okay, so I just want to read this to you because I've said this to you, so this was like the greatest thing for me to read. Left angle cross of industry 2. Okay, gate 29 is known as the abthmal. People unaware of their enormous charismatic power who, with the right commitments, can persevere and shine. Okay. They want you to sit in that. They want you to go ahead and sit in that incarnation cross. This is what your team is saying to me. And really feeling into that. And what does that mean to you feeling wise, right? To go through the questions. Are you in a hurry to get things done so you can be free of the pressure? You've completely open route, right? Are you trying to answer everyone else's question? You have a completely open head. So you're getting information coming in that's completely open and everything coming up from you. So you've got this beautiful open channel and all of this energy goes in through your body and goes around. And you've got like, because you're so defined in all these other spaces, you really like are here to experience those things and to help others who are open become wise. Right. And so that's through, and like what I really, that Sag part of you, that is like so important, that wondrous exploration of life. And there is this part too, because you've got this role model hermit, right? The 6-2. So once again, the 6s, they start out the first, it's all about Saturn with the 6s. So your first 30 years is all about experience, trial and error and all of that. And then you're going to work towards that really amazing becoming wise and sharing that with the world through experiences, through community, through this. And because you've got this, because you're so well connected, it is just tuning into that emotional wave and allowing that to go through you, right? And then giving voice to it and then doing it. And it could be, you know, traveling apart. They're just like, yes, yes, yes. You are so here to help bring joy to others through life, right? Through experiencing, through travel, through all of these experiences. And because of where you've come from, right? It's just it feels to me, right, that it's going to be this really incredible, I just see this beautiful power of light emanating from you, and people are going to be like, I want to get on that ride, man. Like, I want to experience that. Like, I don't know what she's up to. And you might not be, you just might be like, I don't know what it is either, but come along. And they're like, yes. Right. And because you have that ability as a Manny Gen to nourish that life force within you, and you have this channel that completes, like, in this triangular pyramid way, like, you've got it within you, that because of that helps others become more complete when they're near you and when they connect with you. And there's so much that you have so much to show by just being and living. And so I really, what I'm hearing is from your squad is to really dive into that incarnation cross. Like, if you're interested in diving into the human design, really be on the lookout for those complete channels 1/8s, whether they be friends or guides or teachers or however it is, they're going to help get that creative, all that creative stuff up and out, and help be like bounce stuff off and get into your emotion so you can really work that out to respond to that, because that manifestor part of you can inform, right? And then they can bounce that back to you, right? And then you can respond to that emotionally and play into that, see how that feels. You are an emotional being. That is something that your team is like, you are. And I also you've that gate of the way, gate 37, right? That to 40 into the will, right? That is a gate of community, a channel of friendship. Like, there's just so much there. Like, and yeah, they're not going to leave me alone about this, and that's so fine. And so there's something about, they're like, you also have, like, they're like, and tell her she's got gate 1, 2, and 3 activated. So she should look into that too. So just lean in and look at your chart and be like, where do I want to go exploring? Like, where am I feeling pulled to? Right. Because you have such a great inner compass already because you're not swayed by emotion or fear. It's really the pressure to get things done. And are these your thoughts? Are you thinking about things that don't matter? So once you are able to say, am I trying to finish this because I just want to be done with it because I'm over it? And you lean into that and you're like, yeah, I am. And you decide, is that something that you want to do? Right. And like be able to I feel like there's going to be a lot of freedom. And once again, we're coming back to that Manny Jen of allowing yourself the freedom to release the need to complete every task that you've set out for on the day, because your emotional system is going to tell you what's right for you. And you'll end up being so much more efficiently productive in your life, because you will know when to give yourself nourishment. You will know when your body's like, we're going to take a deep nap. We got some downloads today. Ooh, let's go outside and drum. Ooh, let's plan a trip to, to see my favorite artist, right? Like all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that makes sense. I just, even stepping into your energy, it's always like a light show. Even in the depths of the darkness where you have the skills to travel, it is still a light show. And I really feel, so lean into all of that and see how all of that feels, and go with what resonates, and toss the rest in the trash. We'll catch up with you. I hope that helps. I'm like pumped. pumped. All right. I'm good. I'm finished.
Awesome. We're on to Patty.
Patty.
All right, Patty, you are a Taurus sun, Cancer moon, and Pisces rising. So your Taurus is a bit more of a mature Taurus. And having a Taurus sun means that kind of your personal identity is with the Taurus. And the Taurus is incredible at priorities and ethics. It's really great at looking at like money and work and all of those great things. It's really here to work and get some of that done and do it efficiently and effectively. They're very good at holding up boundaries and figuring that out. And then you've got your moon in Cancer, which is the favorite of the moon. The moon loves being in Cancer because the moon rules over Cancer. So you are an incredibly intuitive being. Sorry if we're getting a little bit of that feedback. So you are this incredible intuitive being that instinctively knows how to bring the feeling of home. And I would say what you feel the most secure at is having a home where there's like care and love and deep awareness of the emotional self. So having that Cancer there is a beautiful, beautiful place. And then you've got a Pisces rising. So we've got a lot of water going on. So while you do have an earth sign, this is why I'm always like, your sun sign is one of the least important signs in your chart. Because your sun sign is like an earth, but really water sings in your chart, that intuition, that instinctive knowing. Pisces is really dreamy. So you come off to people as being like really dreamy and kind of like Professor Trelawney, right? In Harry Potter, if you're a Harry Potter fan. So you come off as being like, oh, this and that. And you're like saying all these wild things. And people are like, where is this lady coming from? But like hilariously underneath that, you have a Taurus sun. So it's like, not only are you like dreamy and lofty, but you are grounded and rooted. Like you can find that place and space too. I wanted to check and see which house that Taurus was in, because that gives us, knowing the house in a sign, it can shift that sign quite significantly. So your Taurus, your Taurus sun is in the second house of Taurus. So it's a really rooted Taurus. It exists there. Taurus can know exactly what habits have value, if that makes sense. Like if you're struggling or you feel like so Jared says this thing where like and I mean, I know it's true, I've heard it from other places, but each rune has a spirit. Like the runes are actually spirits manifesting themselves. I think the signs are spirits too. They're archetypal spirits. And that Taurus spirit really wants you to communicate with it more. So it wants, when you're feeling like stuck or you don't know where to go, it's like, you can just ask me, like you can just get on the ground outside or like touch a tree and like say to me, hey, Taurus archetype, like, hey, Mr. Taurus, hey, they, them, Taurus, whatever. Like I really need some advice right now, and they'll bring that more practical advice, because I do feel like you tend to get carried away in the water, and then there's some dissonance there for you, because you're like, you should be more rooted than you are, if that makes sense. You could almost ask that Taurus spirit to be the one rooting you in when you're kind of off doing your 3D watery things, or sorry, 5D watery things. Like you can actually ask Taurus to like be on in there for you. You've got 3 planets in the 4th house of Cancer. Cancer is a really strong place for you. You help people feel like home. You'll probably bring people home. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you do something in the realm of like creating home spaces for people, or even death doula could be a really cool thing for you because of that Pisces rising thing. The Pisces is like the in-between life and death stage. You may have some interest in those things too. Your progressed moon right now is in Taurus. So that's why the Taurus spirit's really wanting to work with you. It's like you've just entered into that Taurus period too. So you want to be home. You want to get more grounded. So that Taurus spirit's really like, hey, I'm here. Like now is the time to embrace me. Like I'm your moon right now too. I have a lot of vested interest in this. Your heaviest placements are water and earth signs. So that steady, true, that muddy water, which sounds kind of gross, but really it's like steady and true emotion. Like it's not volatile emotion, like a fire sign. It's really like calm and well built and understanding, and can pull from both like the groundedness of the earth and the flowiness of the water. It's really a beautiful thing. Okay, I think I'm done. I did it.
Oh my God. Okay. So Patty, I definitely strongly recommend diving into your human design. I can see already just even looking at this. I don't know if you've been watching me flail over here as she's been talking and all the things. There is so many answers in your chart for you that you've been asking and looking for. You have a completely open head. Hi, baby. But everything else is secure. And once again, that gate 1648's in there. That's an important gate for you to look at. So there's actually all the channels. I took a picture of them. I'll send them over so you can start really diving into them, into that. But once again, this is the beautiful thing, manifesting generator, right? So once again, we've got another alchemist, another builder, another beautiful soul who's coming to master something. And I think you already know what you're going to master. And I think you've been working your whole life to this, right? You've got the hermit opportunist, right? You come in, you are the metronome, you are the change, you do that. You do have a split definition. So there are 2 places that kind of need to like settle up in your body to really be able to respond to that through your emotions and really sitting on it. It is so important to get in that water. I was hearing too, like to actually get in the salt baths. I don't know if you can somehow work out something where you can get into like a float tank once or twice or 3 times a month. Even I know that sounds like crazy, but so much of you, your body, your body
connection.
Yeah. Straight up is like, I need more salt. I need more salt. I need more salt. And the things and how your body has changed over time. And what especially because you're working up in these higher realms, in those flotation tanks, because it'll be in the void, in the nothing. You really be able to do that. So you are I'm the cross of contagion 1 for right angle cross of contagion 1, and you're right angle cross of contagion 2, which I think makes so much sense why the first time we met, we had that strong reaction, because we're both part of the same angle of the angle, like, but a different flavor, right? So this is what I just thought was so fun to read. So the quarter of civilization, so theme, purpose filled through form. So you're here to bring heaven to earth in and of itself, right? That's what we do as a spirit, as a soul. We're coming from quote unquote heaven, we're coming down to earth. You're here to like bring that in, right? So right angle cross of contagion 2. Gate 8 is the gate of holding together. People who lead by example and desire to make contribution by committing resources towards ensuring future security and wealth. A civilizing example that impacts others. All right. And so all of this stuff that's happened to you, and I know we've had extensive talks and everything, and I really, really feel that because your design date happened in the sign of Aquarius, is something that's really to do. So it is really tuning in and ensuring that you're always feeling satisfied and how you enter things, and things where you're getting that sense of frustration to just let it go. So the questions to ask yourself and to really sit in is, do you think you have something to prove? So sit with that question and let it move through your body, right? Are you trying to convince everyone that you are certain? Letting that move through your body. Am I trying to answer everybody else's question? And so these are all these open things that are behind whys is, right? Yeah, Tabby's still water flotation. You guys, when you go to Roanoke, Virginia, get in the tanks, man. I'm just saying. Yeah, look into the channels. You're kind of at a point now where you are in your life that you've naturally have already worked this out. And then you had a big thing, right? You had a big moment recently that just took you to the next level because it's time. So definitely tuning into all of the things that Sami said astrologically, I feel is really important, really diving into your human design. And so you guys, if you are interested in learning more about any of these, we hold a study group, because like the fastest way is to learn together, right? Like we all are called on different things, but for me, I want to learn and experience everything, and I'm running out of time, right? I'm coming into like doing the work for my life, and I was like, but I want to also still learn all and experience all these other things. So like, come join in, like read, learn, share, like whatever speaks to you, right? Like coming together with that, you know. And this is something that as my life as I walk as a human, and why, you know, our why of why Pellucidity is a thing, and why people are helping us along the way is like, we're trying to figure out together how to co-create this world, right? This world of magic that is coming, that's already here, and it's being rebirthed, and all the stories that are coming out. If y'all haven't caught on Dolores Cannon's new book, I highly recommend that. That's a good read. There's freaking unicorns and rainbows in there, y'all. Unicorns. I'm just saying, there's all of these things that are out there that are coming in. And for you, Patty, I know you feel this already. Continue to trust yourself. Your work, that you are doing the work that you've come here to do, and the rest of us are figuring out how to come along and get there. So just keep doing it. Trust your inner authority. This really tuning in emotionally and figuring out how to nourish your vessel is what I'm hearing. That extra salt, you know, get healing, Reiki, any kind of like tuning in, sitting on that big tree, right? That big tree, and allowing yourself the archetype. You do have that channel of the archetype too. The channel of power is the design of an archetype. You are here. Wavelength, discovery, recognition, like exploration, perfect form. All that stuff you're feeling inside. Yeah, you need to just live in those tanks. Mm-hmm. Because it's not the water that makes the energy move, it's the salt. So if you don't have a good balance of salt in your system, that it doesn't go anywhere, right?
Right.
And like where you're going, girl. So really start calling in those people, tuning into those that are saying yes to you, that are inspiring you, that you're feeling good towards. I know. They're just having me look at the gates. Your moon, right? The driving force, gate 36, the darkening of the light, the gate of crisis. That's in your design, right? In your personality, in the conscious, it's keeping still, the gate of the mountain, right? It's the gate of stillness. So look at there's just so much in here. So I think your brain will receive a lot of information to help really hold you for the night, for the next term. Okay. I hope that makes sense.
And I wanted to say, because I think I just said this and then I didn't explain, being a more mature Taurus, it means you are going to pick up some of those characteristics of the Gemini a little bit.
Cool.
So you are like kind of borderline that cusp. So a gem Taurus blend.
Always ask me who speaks with the strength of a silent voice.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Thanks, Queen. I don't know if you guys know. I'm going to become an analyst, and then I'm going to have to like do maps and charts and stuff and dive in. So just keep that in your back pocket, because you have to do study groups and stuff. Because these things are expensive, right? We're looking to. There's some people that are charging like $1,000 for one session, but the amount of knowledge that's known, that's like astrology too. I just can't roll like that. So we're going to figure out a way. Like, I get it. And that's for some people, and that totally works for them. And I support that. Yes. But there are other ways.
Right.
But I get why. That's like an astrologer too. It takes a long time. Even with the computer, you still got to I can't even imagine without a computer. No wonder you're like, only the royals who can feed me for life and house me and clothe me. You may have my skills. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Patty. Who we got next? Meredith?
We got Meredith.
Ooh, yeah. My cat keeps sneezing and it's hilarious. He sounds just like Jared, which is more hilarious.
I was going to say, I thought it was Jared sneezing because that's Jared's sneeze.
That's the cat.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay, Meredith, you are a Gemini sun, Taurus moon, and a Sagittarius rising. And you are in very, very small degrees of those things. So just entering in those signs.
How cool.
There's a comma missing up there. Well, a comma. I got really fixated on that. Meredith. Okay.
I support you.
What does a Gemini sun mean? This basically is your personal identity is in Gemini. Geminis are the sign of listening and communication. They are known as the twins. And so essentially, you can analyze things from multiple different perspectives. They are the most open-minded sign of the zodiac. And they are rolling chaos a lot of the times. We always joke, like if someone's a Gemini and they're like doing their thing, we're like chaos. And I have a Gemini moon, and so does Allison's daughter, P. And so we are like, because the moon is in like our Gemini's in our moon sign of like security and emotion, our homes, our like living spaces are chaos, because we just like want all of our stuff everywhere at a moment's notice to grab and like jump into, right? Because we just have like so many interests and so many things we're like so passionate about that we want it, like, never clean up a Gemini's stuff because they're probably coming back to it in 4 weeks. So a Taurus moon. So it's beautiful that you have an earth sign moon because that will keep that Gemini a little bit more grounded, a little bit less like cerebral and a little bit more rooted into the earth. The way that you feel the most secure is with people noticing your hard work and how much you've done and how fair you are with your own time and energy. And so that brings a lot of joy to you. Let me see which house Taurus your moon is in. It's in that 5th house of Leo. So another thing that makes you feel really safe and secure is people recognizing how hard you work in the realm of creativity. So you're really creative and you're really good at playing and bringing those things up. You actually have, in my opinion, a really balanced, like you don't have as many planets in water, but you have a really good, strong balance between earth, air, and fire. So emotions could be the trickier thing for you. You could find yourself not really coming through things through feelings first. You might find yourself analyzing your emotions or just explosively reacting before you even know what's hit you. And that brings me to your rising, which is Sagittarius. So Sag brings the life of the party. They're a good time. They can be just really expansive. They take up space. So that's the way that people view you. Like when you come into the room, they're like, whoa, this person it's either like, whoa, this person like is so much fun and like brings all the goodness, or they're like, whoa, this person has so much knowledge. This is really blowing my mind. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, that's in your 1st house of identity. So, that's kind of like your approach to life is essentially that kind of like big, expansive. You probably enjoy learning about other cultures and countries. You probably want to travel and go and see and learn new things. And that's really good. And especially when you were younger, that was probably a big push for you, was like, oh, I want to go to Italy, or I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to learn this, or whatever that is. And now you've got all of that like experience and know-how, and you've researched all those different cultures, and then your your Gemini sun can take that and process it and communicate it out, because Geminis are really good at communication. They're the social media sign too. So your progressed moon is in Scorpio right now, which is a more introverted moon. And so instead of having that moon flavor of Taurus and being really like kind of homebody and structured and holding firm, healthy boundaries, you're really in the feels right now, and you're like living nostalgia, and you're bringing up the past, and you're looking at things you thought you put to bed, and that's kind of the phase that you're in right now. It's like really bringing up all of those traumas and trying to decide like what it's time to really end karmically, and what you want to transform in your emotional life. Scorpios are all about that transformation, that evolution. So you're really like kind of looking at everything as a whole and going like, this is an issue, this is an issue, this is not an issue anymore. Look at how far I've come. Good job, me. Oh, this really like a wound in my heart, like it's freshly just happened to me all over again. You're experiencing some of that right now, which is really just ultimately leading you to the path to sort of go to the next chapter of your emotional evolution. So it feels really bogged down and emotional right now, but you are getting to a good place of figuring out how do I want to word it? Like you're figuring out where your strength lies right now, if that makes sense. Like you're going to look at all this, and at the end of it, you're going to be like, dang, I learned a lot, and I have a lot of tools in my toolbox now in order to help me move forward. Yeah. And so it's like a true and honest ability to know who you are in a way. Yeah. Hilariously, I'm done. That was perfect timing to jump back in.
Did it just kick me out? And all, like totally just kicked me out.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, but you still were there? Okay, good.
Yeah, no.
Sorry,
Everything's
guys.
on our end. Yeah, you are going to feel a little bit more introverted right now, Meredith. That's totally normal. Yeah. There's a lot of internal work going on. It's a beautiful and terrifying and wonderful and expressive place to be.
Meredith, how much do you know about human design? Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Blue moon. I just love to be a blue moon. Okay, good. So a manifestor is here to inform. You are the spark. You are the inspiration. There aren't very many of you, right? You're also emotional. Yeah. There's so much beauty in your chart. It's like so. It's almost like complete. It's really cool. Your chart is really super cool. And it's so interesting because they are really talking. They want me to say the names. Your team is like, just say the names of the channels. Okay. So you have the channel of openness, a design of a social being, the channel of synthesis, a design of being sensitive, and the channel of transformation is a design of being driven. And then then your team was like, yep, okay, now read her incarnation cross. You're a manifestor, so this is just going to assimilate, which is like so great. Okay. You are gate 16, which is enthusiasm. You're the juxtaposition cross of experimentation. Are you ready for this, Queen? Influential people who are skilled in getting their network to enthusiastically support their new experiment. And as your profile as a 4-1, right? You are here to include, and I think Sami even said this before, I was so rudely removed, is that you do all the research and you're really there to help bring people along for the ride. So what is so important for manifestors is to inform. It is the most important thing. And this is something that we've been experimenting in your house. My husband is a manifestor. My son is a manifestor. It has changed everything in our life. They have to tell me everything. They have to tell me everything they do and they don't do. And if they do, life is great. If they don't, it's not great. It's not great for them. It's not great for me. Okay. Your voice is so important because the way that it works, right? That from my understanding conceptually and how I've experienced, right? And going through it and doing all the research and being a crazy 1-3 Pinkie Pie is that the more at peace you are, the more in alignment that you are in what you're doing in your world and what you've come to do and the work you've come to do is felt hundreds of miles away. There's only like 8% of the world is a manifestor. There's a reason for that. Because even though they say that your aura is repelling, right? And people are like, you're not sure. It's because, and from what I was shown, right? And so I'm still learning this in the depths of it, right? And by no means am I an analyst, but from my beautiful roaming around in the spiritual world, when a manifestor comes to stillness and comes to center and speaks the truth and informs, there is this connection from the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world where everything sings in unison. And it's like the manifestors are like, they're like the conductors of the orchestra, right? And they help direct and do all that by telling them what to do. Be more quiet, be more loud, and when you have that and you allow that energy to come out through you and through your informing. Yes, that you are, yes, you are here to bring excitement to the experiment of life. That is what and so I strongly recommend, I'm going to inform the manifestor because that's what I do. That's what I've been told to do by my little manifestor. And then you decide, then you get in the emotion about it, right? And you sit with it. Yeah, you cannot do it all. You're not supposed to. You are there to inspire and inform and allow the tribe to circle around you and help build, right? Help create, right? And there are those that are in alignment with you who are wanting to do the same thing. And then you pick up a projector or two along the way, right? And you go, okay, help guide us, right? And then the projector and the manifestors sit and blab, and you know, and then quite often the projector then turns and like talks to the generators, you know, these beautiful alchemists, these incredible these masters who've come down to like put their unique frequency in the earth, you know, and to leave those kind of legacies of creation. And here you are having the ability to use that and to speak. And then it also is you do carry the truth within you, right? As a manifestor, because when you speak, it becomes. And so like Manny Jenny's have the same thing too. So yes, like get into that emotion, feel all these things, tell yourself, look in the mirror and tell yourself, right? Allow yourself to be the bridge, right, of all of your research, and bring that out and share it and call on the tribe. Say, you know, you could do it to yourself in the mirror, you know, hey team, hey squad, go out and find me someone who can do this, right? Or like, you know, bring this person to me or whatever. Help them help you get the community excited about life, right? And your ideas and what's happening. So really going in and going through your not self questions, right? Do you think you have something to prove? Are you trying to convince everyone that you are certain? Do you know when enough is enough? They're like, do you know when enough is enough? Am I looking for direction and love? Are you, am I? No, I'm okay. Are you looking for direction and love? Are you trying to answer everybody else's question? I think the key for this for you. Yeah. You get in bed an hour before you, or an hour or two before you have to get horizontal, whether that's laying on the couch or getting in bed itself, and allow yourself to get that rest and recharge. And I'm telling you, if you have the opportunity, find your own space to sleep, whether it be like a bedroom, a cubby hole where there's no other energy. It will change your life. Find your tower. Even if it's just napping during the day and that becomes your most restful sleep, whatever that is, find that space, whether it's like in the park or something, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you go camping or whatever that is, find that time where you have the opportunity to be alone and to really dive into what you want to do, and then come out and inform the world what it is. It's really important. You manifestors are beautiful individuals, and you need lots of rest, and you need lots of nourishment, and that's okay. And so it's so important that the people that you surround yourself, that you choose to surround yourself with, support that uniqueness within you and nourish it. It helps you be a better leader in that way, right? It helps you help them create what they've come here to put on this planet to experience, right? And then we benefited as a community, right? Like my job is to guide, guys. That's my job. You know, could be to the party, could be to the portal. We don't know, right? You know, you have this incredible ability, and using your emotion, which is where we're headed, right? We always talk about this. Emotion is power. The human emotion, that's where the magic is. That's where the power is, right? And if you're able to harness that, like you're doing through your healing, we all benefit. I hope that helps. I think you're going to find a lot of answers in astrology and human design. I think and you can give it to people and say, look, this is me. And they go, oh, that's data. And you go, mm-hmm. I hope that helps you, my friend. I'm excited for you. Good. Excellent. We're at 2.5 hours. We killed it. Mm-hmm. I mean, in real life, the first half an hour was us just trying to even get online. Thank you all so much for this. This is something we've been working on for a little bit now. I don't know time anymore, but it's really exciting to be supported in this way. Because I've always been like, what's my tool? What's my tool? What's the thing that I'm, looking and trying and everything. And like human design's that for me, and Sami's got astrology. And like, so you all have something special. Oh, find your tool, find your friend, find your friends, find your tribe. Let's do it. We're going to round out with Australia, which I love because it's morning there. Yes, if you guys are interested in more, it's called Delving into Your Human Design. It's a group that I started because I needed to learn more and I didn't have time. So this astrology, we're also going to get into gene keys if that speaks to you. There's a couple people in there that are really interested in that. We'll get that going whenever I get a handle on human design enough to where I can be like, I can look at gene keys now. I may enlist Angie Sellers. I've been talking to her. If you guys talk to Angie Sellers, she's a gene key. Magic unicorn person. So I really so thank you all for coming. Come check out. We've got the soul tribe. We're all over the place. Like we will help find your, SaiYunaste's home, right? That's home. It's always going to be here. There's so many other people in our community and stretching out and connecting. So please, we're going to help you find your interests, your tools, all of that, the tribe, the connection. There's so many soul language, light language, astrology, like, oh my gosh, nutrition, like business, like, I mean, it's all, we've got it. We all have these powers and magic. So that's it. Sorry. I'm getting impassioned now because this is good.
All right.
Yes. Thanks for sharing that. There it is. All right. Tian, it's happening. I'll be quiet now so you can start.
You're great. Tian, you are a Taurus sun, Taurus moon, and Pisces rising sign.
Dope.
You have a ton of planets stacked in that Taurus house, that second house in Taurus. The work. Now your guides are just talking to me. Sorry, this is not astrology based. This is now your guides just taking over. The work that you're going to do for women and putting up boundaries and restructuring the boundaries of work and home balance is going to be so impactful to the world. Like, the way that someone with that much Taurus in their chart can completely revolutionize someone else's life and give someone their energy back and help them reprioritize, like you can do that like no one else. You're also really good at attracting money if you want to be. You can bring that in. Money for yourself and the causes that you want to put it towards. Excuse me. So this is really, really cool. So your moon and your sun are in an agreement. The moon doesn't necessarily like to be in an earth sign placement because earth signs are less flowy and it's a little bit more from a place of like, it's just, I was watching a TikTok the other day and there was an astrologer on there and he said it really well. He said, earth signs do have emotions. They just showcase them differently. You can just see them in different ways. They're there, but you're just not seeing, you're not going to see them openly weeping or sobbing on a live or anything like that. And if they do, it's because they've come to this really deep understanding. So if they're at that point, then it's like a pivotal moment, right? That you should really embrace and take on. You're not really afraid of emotion, I guess, is the thing that I want to say about earth signs. Earth signs aren't really afraid of emotion, or they shouldn't be taught to be afraid of emotion. Although I feel like most of us do live in homes where we're told like, buck up, chin up, da, 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 that's pretty common for us. And so we start to get a little bit more a little bit less that way. But fortunately for you, you've got a Pisces rising. So the Pisces is emotional. It is a water sign. It does dive into that. It does dream and flow and move and do the intuition thing. So again, kind of like I said to Patty, where people might kind of view you like Trelawney from Harry Potter, right? Where you're like, rah, 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 and here's this beautiful thing, and I'm dream weaving this over here, and da 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 da. And then you flip it, and you've got that like Taurus backbone to it too. So people are like, wow, this person's like all of this. And then you can like code switch almost and like talk real professional and be like, okay, now let's get down to business. Here's the money breakdown, all of that kind of thing. So what I will say for you is your moon is pretty young, if you will, a young Taurus. So that means you're kind of on the cusp of being a Aries moon. So you might feel like at times you can be a little bit more impulsive with your emotion, and you can just like, what's that called? Like put the cart before the horse kind of thing. Isn't that a phrase that people say? I don't know. Where like you'll like have this burst of emotion kind of thing that might happen for you sometimes. So it's a little bit of a scorched earth scenario for you in your moon section. But what makes you feel secure is people respecting your priorities and people respecting your time and your energy. The amount of houses that are placed in Taurus for you is out of control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets in Taurus. Really points to that being your work. Here on Earth, you probably will feel a calling at some point, if not now, to dive into a realm of finance or help people restructure their work. You're here to master that, right? And you're here to create the blueprints for other people to do it. But I really do think, and I think it's because that Pisces rising is there. I really do think that you can have a massive impact on helping people restructure, especially women restructure their boundaries, learning how to say no to things, learning how to stand up for their own energy, teaching them to know their value. This is not the spiritual gift live. We're doing one of those, I'm sure, soon coming up. But I'm just letting you know that I feel like that could be a huge, massive gift for you, because it is very common in society for us to teach women to not, to always say yes, to always smile through it, to always get through it. And I think you have the strength to hold that for people and allow them to move through that emotion. And that Piscean connection means that you're not going to be as scared of emotion as the normal Earth side would be. You're going to be able to really hold it and see it and flow with them through that type of thing. I want to talk about your progressed moon for a little bit here. Your progressed moon is in Scorpio. And so it's still an introverted sign, just like your Taurus moon, but you're feeling all the feels right now. So you're really going to be going through, hi, Allison. You're really going to be going through, who was I just telling this to? Was it Meredith who has a Scorpio? Anyways, you're going through the evolution. You're pulling out all the old memories from the memory bank and you're looking at them. Scorpios are kind of known as like the hoarder of the zodiac sign. And they both can be physical hoarders as well as emotional, like memory hoarders. The little twin sisters are Scorpios. And one of my sisters, Kayla, she will just whip out memories from like when she's 4 years old. It's wild to me. Like she will have vivid and tell you like what everyone was wearing and like what was said and how it made her feel and like what everyone else's reaction was and like that whole thing. So you're kind of pulling out all the old memory files and going through them right now and kind of assessing where you are emotionally with those things. So you might find yourself feeling much more nostalgic about things, or much like you might go out with friends and be like, I'm going to keep this napkin from this place that we were with the like restaurant name on it and like put it in a little scrapbook. Like you might be in that place right now where you're really like feeling all the feels. And that's a beautiful place to be, because it is definitely a good place to really take an evolution and take a really hard look at what lessons you're learning and what lessons you've already learned and what you kind of want to work on in the next phase, because the next phase will be, oh my gosh, my brain. The next phase after Scorpio is Sagittarius, where we expand on that and we get some philosophy moving through there and we kind of look at things from a bunch of different higher perspectives and higher wisdom. So You're really sussing out what you want to focus on in the next phase. So that's a great place to be. And did you just enter it? No, you're pretty much midway through that moon. So you're like a year in to that moon. You've been in it for a little while. Yeah. Okay. That feels good. There's so much. I feel like everyone's chart, I'm like, I could talk forever. I guess that's why
you do offer full readings, you guys.
Yeah.
If you want to get into it with Sami and astrology, you can do it, and you should.
Yeah.
I invite you to do whatever feels right for you. Check in with your authority, then go do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tian. This is just me having a moment in time where, like, I know I've been right, and I've been right from the beginning, and now I've got the data to confirm it. How much do you know about human design? Because your team has a lot that they want me to say to you, and I want to make sure that I'm in the correct place. Great.
Great, you're gonna learn. That was the voice.
Okay. First
You're
and foremost, my beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, intuitive, incredible, everything in between sister. You're a projector. You've come here to be recognized, to guide, to help birth the new way. You know that already. You know that part, right? This is where it's going to get wild, okay? And I have some invitations for you that I think you will really enjoy looking into. So a projector, we need to wait for the invitation. Okay. I'm going to invite you to be open to all the things that I'm going to say, because I'm pretty sure you're not going to like most of them. Because this is what happens for most projectors. Now, this may not be the same for you. You may have already moved through this, and I hope this is the case. Projectors are only supposed to do about 3 hours of work every day. 4 max of work. We have no motor. The rest of the time, we're learning and experiencing. We're guiding ourselves, other people, nourishing, collecting. And when we do the work in those 3 to 4 hours, it is equivalent to approximately 8 to 10 hours. We condense everything because we've had time. Now, the key thing is waiting for the invitation. So those that invite you to places, and then to respond to that. Now, here's what's going to make it super fun for you. So once again, I'm going to invite that beautiful soul of yours to tune in and to feel what's right. The chart says you're an emotional projector. You also are, your profile's a 6-3, okay? You're a role model martyr. So the first half, so at some point, most of your life, first half of your life, you're a 3-3. This is why you didn't like your jobs. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to guide. That is what you've come here to do. And so I'm going to speak projector to projector for a minute, and y'all's going to get a little raw. The hardest thing for us is to accept the recognition when we get it, because we've been trained and conditioned for so long that we have to work really hard and we have to do extra, and we're like super slaves in that way. That's what Ra calls us, right? Super slaves. And he chooses the word slaves to make us move. That man, you could say a lot about him. He knew how to use the words to get the energy moving. Pretty amazing. Human design, Gene Keys, astrology. Find that tool that allows you to experience fully. You've got a lot of questions here in your not self questions. So I'm going to invite you to feel into my responses to these questions when I tune in to what you've come here to do. You have nothing to prove. I invite you to settle into your heart and let it go. The things that no longer serve you, these things that you're holding on to that's not good for you anymore, and you know it, even though you love it, and you know it's hurting you. Maybe take another look and see if it's time. You know, like you know, like you know. I have felt that in your system. That assurity, that beauty, that knowing. And you know this because the first time, one of the first times, I was like, anchoring star. This next one, do you know when enough is enough? Okay? It's okay to rest most of the time. I've been doing that for 2 or 3, actually probably since the car crash. I had to get next to death to stop. Because it's time for us. It's time for us to get together and do what we've come here to do, okay?
And with all that Taurus, the Taurians have to rest.
So important.
Really important.
And so I invite you to look around in your circles and to see who's pushing you and telling you and not inviting you. And not seeing you and recognizing that. And I invite you to really look into what that means and what that feels like for you, and to take your time to really feel it. The last question is, am I trying to answer everybody else's questions? I remember the first time I connected to your higher self, to the wholeness that is you, right? And I was just struck still by how incredibly connected in so many facets you are to Mother Earth and to the tribe and to the especially to the indigenous peoples of your land. And it allowed my heart and my hope to expand in a way that I didn't even know was possible. Something that I always conceived of conceptually, but never felt. So explore all those things. I so invite you to do that. Because I know I've seen so much of you, because you've been so gracious and allowed me into your energy in such beautiful depth. That this thing that you've come here to do, this work, will be done. And I invite you to believe in yourself and to trust yourself wholeheartedly. And to call in the support that you have been longing for, fully round you up and allow them to see themselves as you see them, to encourage that and to guide that, because you're so good at that. I'm just saying, from the first moment I knew. And now I've got the paperwork to prove it. And now you have something you can look at and read about and fall in love with yourself, just like every single person does when they meet you. That's why you have so many best friends. That's why so many people want to work with you. Allow yourself, my beautiful sister, to tune in and follow your inner compass. Allow the rest of us and invite us along. It's okay to let it go. I know it's really hard. It was hard for me. Because we are surrounded by such beautiful beings that have endless energy and do so much. And what we do, our work, a lot of it's internal. And it's also hard to say, my wisdom is worth it. I mean, I don't make things the same way or build things the same way, but I'm wise. I can see the things, the puzzles, right? I'm worth it too. I'm worth the time, you know? It's like they're bringing me the experienced construction contractor that says, you know, I can't believe this guy's charging me $72,000 for this thing, right? And then the contractor breaks down the why it costs that much. I see your expertise. I see your wisdom. I always have, and I always will. It is time, Queen. Okay. All right. I hope that helps. I love you fiercely. I love all of you fiercely. It's like crazy to me. Thanks for saying yes to this, for coming along, for following the passion. Like, really, it's incredible how we've grown over the years, how things have changed, how we've expanded out, you know, how we all are threaded and weaving together. Lean into those that support you, that trust you. You know what I mean? That's what I've been working on for 2 years, and I've got such a beautiful circle. And when I say, I think we're going to open portals, they go, all right, great. Just let us know how we can help. That makes so much sense. Of course it does. When I say, I see global sanctuaries. I see us all connected. I see everyone living their best life. They go, yeah, I love that. Let's do it. You are all a part of this. And it's the most amazing thing. And I get to be and experience and learn, and you go, yeah, learn more, share more. And then I get to watch so many go out and explore in their own way and share their own gifts, and how we support each other. And this next 13 months, you know, the monthly healing circle that everyone's welcome to, of course, is calling the tribe home. And Nancy's channeled the most beautiful code for it. Like, I sobbed hysterically when I saw it because it felt so good. So So I invite and encourage you and to go within and surround yourself with as much love as you want. It's really limitless, you guys. It's limitless. We're going to do this again, I think, yeah?
Oh, it feels so good too. Yeah. Yeah, and that spiritual gifts live. We need to get another one.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be doing that.
That was really fun. Yeah.
We're going to do more spiritual gift stuff, like what calls to us, you know? Tian, I also invite you to give me an actual times of when you're available so I can put healing circles together so you can actually come to them. I really want that in my life, like so bad. And so if we have to get Sami involved, I don't know if you guys know this, but manifesting generators, especially those that are pentacaps, like this beautiful unicorn here, bring heaven to earth, and then they're like birthing it. I blab at her and she goes prioritize, and then it happens. I wouldn't be here. So let's do this. Let's call home the tribe. Let's explore. Let's have fun. Let's cry. Let's throw things. Let's figure it out. This is home, you guys. Go out there. Have a great time. Stay connected to the others. Support. Go where it feels right. Check in with yourself. You really have got this. Like, I'm here if it feels the call to dive deep. There's all kinds of stuff of every level, what feels right. Like, I literally can make anything work. That's what I've come here to do. I'm Pinkie Pie, y'all. Pinkie Pie. And you think she just goes along until you get into her basement and she's got parties planned out for 100 years. So I'm just saying. Catch y'all next time. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Ending the broadcast.